The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
The point of the Matrix probably is to raise questions about our world. It's to make us think about our own world in slightly different ways, and maybe to make us ask questions about what the real limits and bounds on our own behavior are. You know, you see the scene at the end of the first movie where everyone's moving around in a sort of trance-like way, and Neo seems to be the only one that in that sense is awake in the phone box. But that notion of awakeness seems to me more like a social and political notion.
I don't look at the story of the Matrix as being literally a story of man versus technology. It's much more about the robots and the machines and the computers represent rigid thinking, the institutionalized control which people generally allow themselves to be subjected to.
You have a social critique on the outside, dialectical materialism. It's sort of Marx filtered through Cornel West. But the irony is that in the Matrix, people are the means of production eventually. This great symbol of people being batteries. While they sleep, their bodies are actually batteries that power the city of the robots and this whole mechanical society. It's a very powerful symbol. Because people, you know, when they're completely asleep to what's going on around them, are exploited to that extent. They're giving up their very life force to run the society in a lot of ways. When we become passive consumerists, you know, we're surrendering our life force.
You are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
The only thing that we know for certain is that nothing is certain. And that idea goes back, in some form, to Socrates. Socrates was famous for saying that he didn't know in particular what virtue was, and he wasn't sure that anybody did. And in one place he says, perhaps only God knows this.
Socratic wisdom, famously, is knowing that you do not know, and knowing the limits of things. This recognition of the limits of our knowledge seems to be foundational for beginning to remedy that condition.
There's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
The Matrix succeeds in sucking in the viewer precisely in the same way that the allegory of the cave sucks in the reader. Allegory of the cave appears in the central books of Plato's Republic. We discover that there are prisoners who've been bound from infancy to a single place in a dark underground cavern. What they see is the interior of a cave wall, and on it are projected shadowy images from a fire behind them.
These prisoners don't know they're prisoners, don't think they're prisoners. This is the only reality that they've ever known. This level of reality, Plato and his mentor Socrates equate to the level of reality at bottom.
The life you've led is not, in fact, the totality of what is possible for you. And if you could release yourself from bonds you don't even see, you would then be able to see the world as it truly is.
Similarly, we have Neo's situation in the Matrix. We have Trinity and Morpheus reaching out to Neo, bringing him, through his own choice, into being unchained, or in this case, unplugged.
What does that mean?
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.